All right, I'm sitting down today with FSU's athletic director, Michael Alford. Man, it's been a minute, but you're extending your lead on Jen a little bit. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. How you doing? It has been a minute.
It has crazy last several months, craziness in college football. But man, I don't know of a better place to start. As I noticed when this was scheduled, we made sure that it was before the softball game at 11 a.m. I'm wearing my
Good.
support for Coach Almeida. And man, let's start there. I don't know that there's a wins Coach of the Year. I don't know there's a better story in college softball and really a lot of college athletics than what she's been able to persevere through and what those ladies have done this year, winning another ACC regular season and looking like they'll host a couple of weekends in May at home as well.
Just been amazing. When she first came to me and told me the diagnosis, the first train of thought was her health. Making sure she gets the resources, the time off, the rest, everything to make sure that she stays healthy so she can battle this thing at full capacity. And I've just been so proud of her, the reaction of the team, the girls, the coaching staff, Cindy Hartman, who is her administrator, the support that everyone's been able to give her through this. We love Lonnie and wishing her the best, and really just looking out for her health is our number one priority as we continue this season along. And what a season it's been! The girls have really responded. Just amazing in the circle they've come down the stretch here. The pitching staff, and just really proud of them, and looking forward to the postseason.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for the tournament coming up, and then what's beyond that. And you're right. Like we do try to highlight the people, not just the athlete or the coaches. But yeah, I think that everybody would be concerned if any coach at any school got the diagnosis that she got. But when you do truly think of like the salt of the earth type people and the truly like just great people, I mean, Lonnie Almeida would come to a lot of people's mind as maybe like first on campus, and that's no slight at anybody else. In the softball world, the way that other teams, you even have our rivals coming to town and supporting and wearing pink for her, and the whole ACC, so many teams outside of that, really rallying behind her, and it's not just been FSU fans; it's been the entire country, and that speaks to who she is as a person. Because
One
yes,
hundred
if
percent, DJ. One hundred
if
percent, because you see what she has put into the game, and her love for the game, and how she's grown the game throughout her career. She's really respected throughout the softball community in the country, as you mentioned, and you see that coming out, the respect everyone has for her now.
Yeah, so it's been really cool to watch. I know Garnet and Gold threw some shirts online that people can go get. I mean, kind of an unofficial plug where they're giving everything back to research and not making anything from them. So go check those out and support Coach through these last few weeks of the season and then beyond as she continues to battle. The other stick sport right across the way there. If you go the sneaky way in the back, you can get to both sports really quick. But baseball's been pretty fun too. A fun couple weeks, really a fun season with some ups and downs. But man, the team has responded in ways that I think is just so typical of a Link Jarrett team. I don't even know if I'm surprised by it anymore. But they'll get punched in the face at times and then respond immediately, going on the road and sweeping Virginia Tech, losing a series, but then coming home and beating Clemson and a couple of run rules on Tuesdays in between. They have been a lot of fun, and with just 2 weeks left, there's 6 games to play, but they are the favorites to also win the ACC at this point.
Well, they've done a great job. Link's such a great coach, and coming in the year, you knew we had a better pitching staff. That 1, 2, 3 combo, and and then some people come key pieces coming out of the pen. We've had some injuries to the pitching staff, so we're not as deep as we thought we were going to be throughout the year. But then you've seen our young hitters step up, and we knew going into the year that was going to take time. The Miles Bailey and some others just adjusting to Division 1 baseball, even coming in from some junior college transfers. It's still going to adjust to Division 1 baseball and what you're seeing night in, night out. And so you knew that was going to take time. So seeing those young hitters, as I refer to them, just coming on board now and getting better throughout the year, being more selective, seeing pitches that they might have swung at or got fooled on early in the year, and now having that experience, they're now sophomores, or they're junior college sophomores, junior college juniors, and coming in, and that experience you're seeing down the stretch here. And how about Drew? From I mean, that guy's like a beach ball coming in there right now. But it's an important series for them to go out to Cal and really compete out there. And that's where they are this weekend. They come back with the last North Carolina. Being on the committee, I know how important these last stretch of games are. So going out there and really competing, and I'm just really excited for where they're heading pool season wise. And Club Dopes. I mean, Hauser is going to be rocking when it comes postseason baseball, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, we were talking about that next weekend. UNC at home. It would shock me if I don't know. We Florida State fans would riot if softball wasn't hosting a regional at the same time. Tallahassee's gonna be the place to be next weekend. I was lamenting to you off air that I have some family stuff and won't be there, and I'm pretty annoyed at it. So I am going to see Mike in Tampa. We'll talk about football in a minute. So. You mentioned the committee. I don't know if you can give us a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. I assume it works kind of like football when they discuss Florida State. Maybe you can't be there, but can you give us a kind of a peek behind the curtain of maybe some of the things that you are allowed? Like, because maybe you can't discuss Florida State, but you can kind of talk about some of the teams around them, and so how do you stay kind of, it's hard to probably be impartial, but how do you stay kind of neutral on some of that stuff, and really do the committees in all these sports kind of work the same? And can you kind of give us an idea of some of that?
But probably a little different. Being on, they're going to work a little different, but you try to take your Florida State hat off as best you can. I oversee the East, which the ACC is in. So I go and report on all the conferences and what I've watched and observed on the East. It's been great because I get to see all the teams in our conference, and I can sit there and talk about them. Yes, I do leave the room when we talk about Florida State, and have to exit the room. But I also have the West, so I stay up at night. I've watched a lot of Santa Barbara and Hawaii games, and getting a good feel for UC Irvine and Oregon State of where they should be seated. So I will, lead those conversations on the West Coast with some other people on the committee that assist me on the West Coast. So everybody has their own region. They're responsible for that to come together and really be a voice for what they've observed. But me personally, everyone does it different. I watch a lot of baseball. You can look at the RPI, you can look at stats. I'm going to look at starting lineups. I'm going to look at runners, how they're hitting with runners in scoring position as a team. I'm going to look at certain things, but I'm also going to do the eye test. I stay up and I watch these games at night on the West Coast because I think it's important for me to see personally what some of the staffs do. What is like Santa Barbara last year? I was their biggest get in the room. Their bullpen was amazing. They would just trot guys out of there that were tough. And I said, whoever gets Santa Barbara in their bullpen is that's going to be a tough out because in a regional or a 3-game super regional series, their pitching depth would come into play and really be a tough out. So, you really try to do your best to watch these teams, to look at them, be objective, and then give a great report. But when Florida State is in the room, I do have to leave. But then you got to compare them all together from different regions and what do we feel is the best seating. So we do a great job, in my opinion, of looking at the stats, looking at RPI, doing the eye test, and discussing teams to slot them in the best position possible.
You mentioned Drew being on fire right now. We talked about Bailey coming through as a young guy. Obviously, everybody knows about the starting pitching. What Jamie's done with K-Time has been phenomenal. But Alex Lodiz has been a story from last year, batting at the bottom of the lineup, not having a great offensive year, kind of coming on a little bit late, to where midseason, not even on the Golden Spikes watch list, but now a real threat to win this thing. And it seems like every time I almost cheer for the other team to hit really difficult balls to shortstop into left field so that I can watch him pull a Derek Jeter off. He's ridiculous, and how he continues to make plays from essentially the left field or up the middle or wherever. and then do it with the bat too. I mean, he's going to hit over 450 for the season. Yeah, it is ridiculous to watch him this year. And again, I'm not going to take the Florida State hat off here. I think he
Yeah.
should win the Golden Spikes. I mean, I truly do believe that he has been the most outstanding player in college baseball this year.
I'm not going to disagree. You know, his story is, and one, who he is as a person. If you get a
No.
chance to sit down and talk to him, he's so humble, such a great person. You know, here's a young man who came out of St. Augustine, went to the University of North Florida, wasn't heavily recruited, uh, got to work in the weight room, improved his game, transferred here, started for us in Kurt, of course, last year, grew in Division One baseball, as we talked earlier, the pitching and everything that's going to come with that. Continues to work hard, probably one of the hardest workers I've seen out there at shortstop, and put his time in the weight room, off the field, getting better, and you seeing all that hard work come through. And you know, it's a prime example of someone just growing late. He's such a great athlete. You see pictures of him his freshman year to pictures of him now. You know, he's just kind of a late bloomer. But he also not only did he late bloom, but he also worked hard in the weight room and got stronger and being able to drop the ball the other way with power. And so it's just fun to watch him. But I agree with you. If he didn't win the Golden Spikes, something's going on. He has had just a tremendous year um, at short and with the bat at the plate.
Yeah, been really, really fun to watch him.